Alright, welcome back. It's late December 1862. Really not too much happening in Virginia. One thing that has changed is that the forces that were coming from Tennessee to Virginia are now actually unable to arrive because we've been hit with um, the railroad being down again because of very harsh weather. So rather than mess with all that again, waiting for the railroad to become available, I'm actually going to go ahead and send these forces to New Orleans, and Richard Taylor will form a second division there. Um, Here's what it looks like in Kentucky um, and Tennessee. We do have Forrest here who's trying to attack Mitchell's division. Otherwise, it's pretty quiet. Same thing goes down here along the Mississippi. Not really too much happening. It's pretty quiet. Um, Out in Kansas, you'll see that here's Van Dorn's force. They're going to again hoping to hold on to um, hold on to Lawrence. We do have a supply wagon with us now, so that will help, and it'll be able to resupply its at least some of its ammo. The town, it doesn't really produce. It says it produces supply, but then when I hover over it, you can see that it doesn't come up that it actually produces anything. So I'm not really sure what's going on. It might be because the loyalty is so low, it doesn't actually produce much of anything. Um, Here is Grant is still across the way um, from Fayetteville. Out west, I have actually I'm going to move Shelby onto this fort here, Fort Cottons. So it looks like we'll be able to take that fort this turn as it's not in harsh weather. And then actually we'll be closer to Golden City when the weather becomes clear. Um, Otherwise, Baylor's force is going to move up to Fort Lyon. One thing that's interesting is I noticed that there's a way to get to Nevada from either from this region or this region. It is through mountains, but in Nevada there are gold mines. So it would be kind of nice to be able to get there in next year if the Union leaves it open to us. One challenge we do have down here is again with supply. So I'm going to send back the supply wagon, and the nearly empty one is going to leave. We're only bringing in 7 supply per turn. Um, I'm not really sure. Again, looks like we should be producing some supply here as well. So hopefully that will be all right. As far as production goes, I've cleared through most of our war supply to get a few more ironclads, and we still have 2 brigades being produced in Kentucky, and then I've done some replacements. Um, all right, let's run the turn and see what happens. It's a pretty quiet turn. Interestingly, Sheridan's actually retreated rather than continue the attack. Um, it looks like though we've been hit with another epidemic here. Let's see. We can't. Yeah, so there's another epidemic. So our cohesion has dropped to um, significantly to 54. But they are at least a region away, so hopefully we'll have a little bit of time um, to recover. In addition, we've been able to replace some of our forces losses. As you can see, out west, Shelby did take Fort Cotton quite easily, and there's quite a bit of supply there, so he'll be able to resupply some ammo as well. Um, Otherwise, there wasn't really a whole lot of movement. Only I did see that Grant has brought in some more forces. Um, yeah, now a fifth no, a fifth division. It looked like it was a fifth division, I think, and as you can see there, several supply wagons as well. These forces are now entrenched to level 6. Saw a little bit of movement in Kentucky. Basically, the Unions retreated from Forest. Um, Otherwise, it's pretty quiet, and didn't see much anywhere else really. Let's quickly just check on the supply situation out west. Okay, so we have an Indian unit that has appeared, and we are now down to 70% supply. So, yeah, looks like this wagon will arrive just in time, barely. Yeah. Um, so I actually probably have two. I mean, even need to think about reducing the number of forces there. I'm kind of hesitant to do that though because they do have two divisions over here. So if they really wanted, they could. Yeah, they could. Probably possibly attack and have a fair chance of winning. There are two batteries here, so that is good. Um, okay, let's take a look at the messages. Okay, so from units trained. The United States is making clearing decisions. Here was the battle where Shelby won. The Pymus Treaty. So John Baylor made a treaty with the Indians. That's great. Okay. So we got an Indian unit. So we can offer a premium for volunteers and partial mobilization, war bonds, and taxes. In addition, we have new brigadier generals have been appointed. A lot of them, it looks like. So I'll have to kind of go through and see what to do with them. New HQ units that we're able to reinforcement pool. So we got hit with epidemics in New Kent. Fort Morgan, that one doesn't really matter. Fort St. Philip, that one doesn't really matter. Of course, and again in Van Dorn's force out here. And new regional decisions as well. So pretty quiet turn. Okay, see you next time.